This is the story of Tundai, a poor orphan, a boy who knew hunger before he knew comfort, a boy who felt pain before he understood kindness. Life treated him unfairly, but Tundai never allowed bitterness to live in his heart. One simple act of kindness would open a door no human hand could ever close. Stay with me, because this African folktale will remind you that heaven watches quietly, and when it rewards, it does so in ways no one can explain. The village of Ao rested peacefully between two forests. Red soil paths twisted gently between mud houses. Palm trees stood tall, their leaves dancing slowly in the wind. Every morning, mist covered the ground like a soft blanket. By noon, the sound of pestles pounding yam filled the air. Laughter echoed from farm paths. Children ran barefoot, chasing grasshoppers. Life in Ar was simple, hard, but predictable. Everyone knew everyone, and gossip moved faster than the wind. At the far end of the village lived Tundai with his parents. His father, Jede, was a palm wine tapper. Strong arms, quiet discipline. Every morning before sunrise, he tied his rope and walked into the bush. His mother, Maro, farmed cassava and yam. Her laughter carried like clean water hitting stone. She sang while she worked. They were poor, but their home was filled with peace. Every evening, they sat outside their hut, watching the sky fade into orange and purple. Little Tundai ran around them, laughing, dusty, and happy. One morning, the air felt unusually still. Jade woke early. He wanted to tap the last 4 palm trees before the sun became hot. Maro followed him to the farm. Tundai followed them, barefoot. Birds sang loudly. The forest felt alive. Jade climbed the tree easily. Tundai clapped when the palm wine poured into the calabash. Then his foot slipped. The sound of his fall scattered the birds. Jede crashed down. His body landed on Maro. No scream. No movement. Only silence. The clay pot fell from Tundai's hands and shattered. His parents lay still, faces covered in mud. Tundai did not cry at first. His mind could not understand what his eyes were seeing. Villagers arrived after hearing his cries. 2 days later, his parents were buried under the big Udala tree. Women sang sad songs. Men shook their heads. Tundai sat quietly, dressed in oversized black clothes. No tears left to cry. That evening, Uncle Duro took him away. "You will stay with us now," he said. Tundai looked back once more at the graves. Then his uncle pulled him away. Duro's house felt cold. No laughter. No warmth. His wife Fumi looked at Tundai like a burden. From that day, his suffering began. He woke before dawn, fetched water from far away, swept the compound, washed plates. If he spilled water, he was beaten. If he asked for food, he was slapped. His cousins ate well. He ate leftovers or nothing. At night, hunger burned his stomach. But worse than hunger was silence. Years passed. Tundai stopped defending himself, stopped crying loudly. He learned silence. He learned how to swallow pain. Yet his heart stayed clean. At night, under the moon, he whispered, "Pa, pa, pa. I am trying." He did not know heaven was listening. By the time Tundai turned 23, the village already knew his name. Not because he was rich, not because he was powerful, but because he never complained. He lived alone in a small mud hut at the far edge of Ar, behind mango trees, far from laughter, far from comfort. Inside the hut, there was almost nothing. A mat made from dry grass, a small oil lamp, 2 clay pots. That was all. Each morning, Tundai woke before the sun. He washed his face with cold water. He tied his worn shorts. Then he walked from farm to farm. Some days, people paid him. Some days, they didn't. Still, he worked. People wondered how a young man could suffer so much and still greet everyone politely. Some whispered, "This boy has no pride." But others said quietly, "That boy has a clean heart." One afternoon, the sun burned fiercely. The red earth cracked. The air felt heavy. Even birds hid in the trees. Tundai balanced his old clay pot on his shoulder and walked toward the stream. Sweat rolled down his face. Dust stuck to his skin. Every step felt heavy. He stopped often to breathe. That was when he saw her. An old woman stood by the path. Her back was bent. Her hands shook. Her knees trembled. She struggled to lift a heavy pot of water onto her head. People passed her. One woman looked at her and muttered, "These old ones are always trouble." Another man crossed to the other side of the path. No one stopped. Tundai watched quietly. When the woman nearly fell, his heart moved before his mind did. He dropped his own pot. He rushed forward. "Let me help you, Mama." His voice was gentle. The old woman looked up slowly. Her eyes were tired, but deep. "Thank you, my son," she whispered. "People walk past me like I am invisible." Tundai lifted her pot easily. She pointed toward the forest. Just by the forest's edge. The forest was avoided by villagers. People believed strange things lived there. But Tundai did not think of fear. He followed her. As they walked deeper, the village sounds disappeared. No laughter. No pounding of yam. Only footsteps. Even the birds went silent. Tundai felt strange, but he continued. They reached a small hut hidden in trees. The old woman asked him to sit. Then she said something strange. "Kneel down, my son." Her voice was soft but carried authority. Tundai knelt. She placed both hands on his head. Her words felt heavy, powerful. "You suffered without hatred. You were hungry, but your hands stayed open. The world forgot you, but heaven did not." The air stopped moving. The leaves froze. Then she blessed him. The next day, Tundai returned. The hut was gone. No ashes. No footprints. Then a voice spoke from everywhere. "Go home. The pot you carried will carry your future." Tundai trembled. That evening, Tundai returned home. Inside his hut, something had changed. In the corner sat the same clay pot, but it glowed softly. He touched it. Warm. He looked inside. Cowries. Endless cowries. His hands shook. He stepped back. "This is not a dream," he whispered. For days, he did nothing. He watched the pot. Finally, he took a handful. The pot refilled. He bought yams. He sold slowly. He saved everything. He never became careless. Years passed. Tundai became wealthy, but quietly. He helped orphans at night, fed widows secretly, rebuilt broken places. He never boasted. People wondered. Rumors spread. Still, the pot stayed hidden. One night, Fumi arrived. Old, broken, ashamed, she begged. Tundai remembered the pain, but chose forgiveness. He gave her a new beginning. At his parents' grave, Tundai whispered, "Everything I have came from what you planted in me." The wind answered softly,